So I got a pretty good question from one of my blog readers the other day in an email. They were asking for recommendations on whether they should use the residential service plan or the Roam service plan when they were buying their Starlink system. And they had what I think is a pretty common situation. They needed Starlink for home internet use, but they also wanted to be able to use it for travel purposes in their RV. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the difference between the two service plans and letting you in on a little bit of a secret that you can actually get most of the benefits of the Roam plan on the cheaper and faster residential plan. Let's get into it. So really the main differences between Roam and residential. So first of all, you have two different types of data. So this residential plan uses what Starlink calls standard data, and the Roam plan uses what's called mobile data. Now the difference is the level of priority on the network. Both of them have unlimited data, so there's no data caps or anything like that. The difference in priority comes down to who has the preference on the Starlink network when bandwidth is limited. So for example, if you're in a pretty congested area with a lot of Starlink users and you are on the residential plan, you have a higher priority on the network than Roam subscribers. So that pretty much means faster speeds, more reliability, lower latency, that sort of thing. So in times of network congestion, especially during peak hours, you're generally going to see higher speeds on the residential plan because they have preference over those Roam users. Now the other difference between the two plans is the level of portability and freedom that you have to travel with the two plans. So on residential, it's mainly designed for a fixed service address, usually home internet, and Roam is designed to be able to use anywhere within the same continent. Now there's kind of a caveat there, and this is one of the main reasons why I now recommend most people just go with residential, even if you want to travel with it. So as far as the portability goes, with no more wait list in the United States, you can actually travel with residential service plan. And you do this by simply updating the service address by using the Starlink app or the Starlink website whenever you move locations. So let me give you an example. So if you're traveling in an RV, you start out using Starlink at your home for home internet, you pack it up and you need to go a couple states over. So you drive over there, you get to your camp spot for the night, you get on your phone, you update your service address to the current location that you're at for your camp spot. Then you'll have residential service at that location. It's that easy. You just change your service address each time you move. Now with Roam, that's unnecessary. Roam works anywhere within your continent if you're on the regional Roam plan, or globally if you're on the global Roam plan. So that means you don't have to worry about updating your service address each time you move. It's a lot more flexible and definitely is preferable for a lot of scenarios. You just have to look at what you're going to be using it for and decide if it's worth it to go with residential and just update your service address, or if you like the freedom and flexibility that the Roam service plan offers. The other difference, which I don't think applies to a whole lot of people, is the in-motion use aspect of the Roam service plan. So the residential service plan is not compatible with in-motion at all, whether it's below 10 miles an hour or above 10 miles per hour, whereas the Roam plan is capable of in-motion use. So by default, the base $150 a month Roam plan, you can use it in motion under 10 miles an hour, which is mainly just for like boating on inland lakes and that sort of thing. You can't really drive with it unless you opt in to the mobile priority data, which costs extra per gigabyte, and then you can use it at highway speeds while driving, that sort of thing. So again, you can't do that with residential at all. So if you need in motion, definitely have to go for the Roam plan. But if you don't need to use it in motion, residential is still an option. And the biggest concern between these two plans is the price. So one of the reasons why I recommend that most people just go with residential, even if they're needing to travel with their dish, the residential just costs $30 less a month. It's $120 a month in the United States residential, whereas Roam costs $150 per month. So you can save a significant amount of money by just going with that residential service and going through the kind of workaround of updating your service address if you need to use it at different locations. Now, probably the final consideration between these two service plans is the ability to pause and unpause service. And I know that a lot of you have probably been thinking so far this video, well, hey, the biggest advantage of having a Roam plan is that you can actually pause service for seasonal use. So you don't have to pay for your bill all year long when you're only using it for maybe RV camping, half of the year or something like that. Well, actually you can pause residential service. Now they don't call it pause, but essentially you can just cancel your residential subscription if you don't need it for a while, and then reactivate it later on when you do. It's almost the exact same process as pausing Roam. There's really fundamentally no difference there between those two. So to kind of sum it up here, residential, you can use it at multiple locations as long as you are willing to go into the app and change the service address each time you move the dish. You can also pause residential, assuming you don't mind just canceling your subscription and then reactivating it when needed. Roam is better definitely for in-motion use because you don't have that available on the residential service plan. And Roam is definitely necessary if you're going to leave your country. So the changing service address trick for residential, it doesn't work outside of your country that you're located in. Starlink will not allow you to move the address outside of your country. However, Roam, you can use that service anywhere within the same continent on the regional Roam plan. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I thought it was pretty interesting that you can get most of the same benefits out of that residential service plan if you're willing to just do a few extra seconds of work on the Starlink app by updating your address whenever you're traveling. You can save 30 bucks a month while doing that and still being able to pause your service. And best of all, if you do that, you will get higher speeds and generally better performance and reliability compared to those Roam users in your same area. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you subscribed to Roam or residential? And would you consider switching to this new method? Let me know, and we'll see you in the next video.